This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So CNN is continuing to hold town halls with Republicans, maybe as some sort of a saving face measure after the debacle that was the Trump town hall. Now they're giving everybody equal time. Well, last night's was Mike Pence. And Mike Pence is a special kind of craven political operator. He does his fake earnest thing, and he furrows his brow, and he talks seriously, and he's really a consummate politician in this way. He's also a hypocrite. He's also a liar. He's also a bigot. He's a number of things. There's two things I want to talk about, two clips I'm going to play for you. First is him indicating that he does not want Donald Trump convicted. He does not want Donald Trump to face consequence for his crimes, for his, I was going to say wrongdoings, but it's criminality. It is serial contempt for the rule of law. And Mike Pence is communicating here, not in a bid to protect Donald Trump, I believe, but in a bid to ingratiate himself to Republican voters that he just thinks it's a bad idea. Luckily, Dana Bash was there to hold his feet to the fire and ask him some follow-ups. But watch him he short circuits. He glitches out in real time while trying to buy himself time to make some semblance of a logical explanation for his stances. Watch this remarkable clip, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
I think now more than ever, we ought to be finding ways we could actually come together.
Sir, we're going to get
and
to
this kind of action by the Department of Justice, I think, would only fuel further division in the country. And let me also say, I think it would also send a terrible message to the wider world. I mean, we're the emblem of democracy. We're the symbol of justice in the world. And the serious matter, which has already happened once in New York, of indicting a former president of the United States, sends a terrible message to the world. I hope the DOJ thinks better of it and resolves these issues without an indictment.
Sir, I just want to clarify. What you're saying is that if they believe he committed a crime, they should not go forward with an indictment? You just talked before about committing to the rule of law.
Let me be clear that no one's above the law.
Okay.
But with regard to the unique circumstances here, look,
and then he's going to shift, and I'm going to play the rest of the clip here. He's got about 35 seconds left. Then he moves on. He shifts in this clumsy manner to talk about the documents he had and the documents Joe Biden had. When the question was, so you believe that if the DOJ has found or believes Donald Trump committed a crime or crimes, he should not be indicted. He should not be subject to the same rule of law that the rest of America is. And that's when the short circuit occurred. Because you can't be law and order, like Republicans love to talk about that they are, and support a criminal ex-president who is continuing to flagrantly flout the law and violate U.S. code with impunity. Those two things cannot exist in the same space. Let's let the clip continue here, and then we'll move on to the next, where he refuses to admit that Donald Trump's going to be the nominee in an effort to say that he will support the nominee, but won't say that he will if it's all a mess. Watch the rest of this clip.
Okay.
But with regard to the unique circumstances here, look, I had no business having classified documents in my residence, and I took full responsibility for it. President Biden had no business having them in his residence from when he was vice president as well. And the same with former President Trump. But I would just hope that there would be a way for them to move forward without the dramatic and drastic and divisive step of indicting a former president of the United States. We've got to find a way to move our country forward and restore confidence in equal treatment under the law in this country. We really do.
What's the way to move forward, Mike Pence? What is the way to move forward that avoids the dramatic indictment of a former president? What is it? Do we sit him down and have a talking to? Do we slap him on the wrist? Does he get a lecture? Does he have to attend a seminar on how to handle classified, highly sensitive military intelligence documents? What's the way when someone violates the law? If only there was a system in place in the United States system of jurisprudence to hold a criminal accountable. Damn. If only we had a system of, let's call them courts, where a jury would oversee a case and then make a determination. It's too complicated. Who knows? I guess we'll just have to let him go free. Gross. Craven, covering his own ass for his own political gain. That's what you're witnessing here. And in true Mike Pence fashion, he gets asked the question of, you've always said that you're a Christian and you're a conservative and you're a Republican, but how does that line up if that you'll support the nominee, whoever it is, but what if it's Donald Trump and you said he abdicated his duty, he violated his oath to the Constitution? Will you still support him? Watch this just shit show lay out before your eyes.
But as soon as I heard the voice and ideals of the 40th President of the United States, I joined the Reagan Revolution and never looked back. And I've always supported the Republican nominee for President of the United States. And I'll support the Republican nominee in 2024, especially if it's me.
Well, but I just need to follow up on this, because you also say, and I've heard you say this for years, I'm a Christian, I'm a conservative, and a Republican in that order. Yeah. You just spent a lot of time, both here and earlier today, explaining why you think that the former president did not uphold his oath to the Constitution. So then how can you say that you would support him if he's the nominee?
Well, because I don't think Donald Trump's going to be the nominee
what if
in
he
the
is?
Republican Party. I don't think he's going to be the nominee.
What if he is?
I have great confidence in Republican primary voters. We have a field of strong and experienced candidates that grew by one today. And I truly do believe that people here in Iowa are going to recognize the challenges that we're facing and understand that different times call for different leadership. The American people don't look backwards. We look forward. And I truly do believe whatever the polls show and whatever the pundits are saying, that when the time comes, the people of Iowa are going to take a fresh look at all of us that have stepped forward. I don't think my old running mate is going to be the Republican nominee for president, and I'm very confident that I'll be able to support the Republican nominee for president of the United States. And I hope it's me.
But what if he is the nominee? Well, he's not going to be. But what if he is? He's not going to be. What if he is Mike Pence? The question is, do you think he will be? It's what if he is? He was once. Why would it not happen again? Because of the same mob of Republican voters you're trying to acquiesce, you're trying to not cross. They love him. I'm sure CNN had a hard time finding a room to fill with people who would applaud at every word. It is more likely than not that MAGA world is going to nominate Donald Trump to be the president of the United States for the Republican Party, to be the candidate for the Republican Party. For you to dismiss the question because you don't believe it's going to happen is nonsense. But again, what do you expect from Mike Pence, a man who served under the yoke of the Donald Trump administration for 4 years and only in the 11th hour decided to do something different in honor to the Constitution by not overthrowing the government, by not overturning a free and fair settled American election. Ugh, gross. What do you think about this? Did you watch this last night? What were your impressions? I'd love to know. You can mix it up in the comments. You can also call, leave me a voicemail, 714-576-4054. Absolutely, you can email me daily at Dollemore.com. It's one daily, but daily at Dollemore.com. If you haven't yet subscribed, if you're someone who just sits here and gets delivered my videos and you want to see what an oddity and a freak show that might be, so you click and watch, but you do that more than once, click the subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. Click the bell to make sure you're being notified of my content, so it's not a coincidence that YouTube serves it to you. And if you want to do more than that to support my work, click the join button below, become a channel member, click the super thanks button below, or even better, go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast and support my work there. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. I'll see you next time. Hopefully there will be less Mike Pence in the news and more good news. Like I said last time, if you live in an area where there is a lot of smoke in the air, like I do here in DC, if you live in New York City or really anywhere in between, take care of yourself. Wear a mask, stay inside. It's not great. Be genuine. Take care of one another.